Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls alike. This is Poggy, your local priest, coming at you once again. I wanted to talk a little bit about leveling priests. I've been getting a lot of people asking me, what spec should I choose? What spec should I use? How should I spec it? I might go over the details in specking for leveling a little bit later, but now I just wanted to go over the basics. The first thing is, we only have two real legitimate specs for leveling. We have Discipline, and we have Shadow. There is a difference between the two, and I will get into that, but first I want to talk about what they have alike. First thing is, both Shadow and Discipline have about the same amount of regen for mana. Their mana regen is actually pretty good for both of them. For Discipline, their survivability is really good, but so is it for Shadow. The differences between the two, however, for Shadow, it's not really straightforward how you keep yourself from dying. It can take a little bit of practice to get the hang of, and you will take a lot of damage until you get the hang of it. I personally, I never played Shadow really, except for leveling a long time ago. My priest is really old as far as the game time goes, and I haven't played Shadow in a while, so as you're watching me here doing these little fights, you're seeing that I'm taking a lot of damage, and that's because I don't remember what I'm doing. Basically what you have is this. Shadow's going to give you great DPS, great survivability, and great mana regen, but it's much more difficult to control, especially at the higher levels. I'm talking about 40 and above. Discipline is going to give you great mana regen, great survivability, but it's going to take you about 40% longer, maybe even more, to actually level when compared to the Shadow Priest. The difference is that it's much easier to handle. In other words, when you're using your Discipline Priest to level, you're doing damage, and then all you have to do is bubble yourself. Now, the reason why the only thing you have to do is bubble yourself with your Power Word Shield is because it absorbs so much damage in Discipline. That is the Discipline thing, is shields. I mean, you're shielding yourself almost constantly. That's just what Discipline Priests are all about. And so, you're going to find that it's really straightforward. Hit the bubble, maybe throw a renew on yourself if you really need it, though you're probably not going to. And you're good to go. With Shadow Priests, however, you have to deal with crowd controls. You're going to want to fear whenever a mob gets out of control, or if you have too many mobs around you, you're going to go ahead and want to fear them, and then go ahead and do your Mind Flay. You also have your Vampiric Touch, which heals you for all the shadow damage you do. So, expect to be taking some damage, because the point is that you're supposed to kind of heal yourself back. But like I said, this is a very difficult class to control compared to the Discipline spec. Now, if anything I said didn't make any sense, or you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments below, and I'll probably answer them in a future video. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about today was actually my add-on that I use for healing. I use Voodoo. It's V-U-H-D-O, Voodoo, and you can look it up on Curse Client. Basically, with Voodoo, you have your bars here, and what you can do is just left-click or right-click on them, and they'll do different spells. Now, that's in the simplest form. However, you can also set it up to control-click and control-right-click, shift-click, shift-right-click, control-shift-click, control-shift-right-click, all that. I don't really use all that. I only use left-click, right-click, and then control-click on the left. And, I mean, you can set it up however you want. There's all kinds of options in here. You can move the bars around, you can change all the spells, you can change the colors. Now, there is something else that I use in here that I would like to mention. It's actually the debuffs tab. On the debuffs tab, it'll actually put a little icon for the debuff on the character who has it, and all you have to do is click on the icon and you will dispel that debuff. It's actually really convenient. That way you don't actually have to click on them or even do your control clicks or anything like that. All you have to do is click on the little icon for the debuff. Makes it really lazy, which is right up my alley. And so, I hope that this has been really informative. If you have any questions, I know this video is kind of quick. I made it kind of in haste. I do apologize for that. I have a lot of stuff going on lately. I wasn't even scripted, so a lot of this may just not make any sense at all. Anyway, take care, guys, and don't forget to rate, favorite, and subscribe these videos. It's one video, actually. Alright, I'm gonna go.